Algebra 1, test number 16 study guide. Got through lesson 5.3. First question asks, are the lines parallel? Explain why they are or why they are not. What we know about parallel lines is they have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. That means they have the exact same m value. In the equation y equals mx plus b, which is your slope-intercept form, they have the exact same m value. The first equation, y equals 5 over 11x plus 2, it says mx plus b. So you can see what its slope is. It's 5 over 11. Therefore, the second equation, in order for them to be parallel, its slope has to also be 5 over 11. Now, you can't as easily see the slope in this second equation because it's not in slope-intercept form. So in order for us to determine if they are parallel or not, if it has the same slope, we have to move that equation. We have to solve for y to make it say y equals mx plus b. We know how to solve equations. We know how to get y by itself. We move everything that's not y over to the other side by working our order of operations backwards. Addition and subtraction, multiplication, division, exponents, then parentheses. That's positive or plus 5x. So you subtract it to cancel out the plus. You subtract it on the left, do likewise on the right. You can't take it away from 14 because they're not like terms. One has an x, the other one doesn't. So what we do is we cancel them on the left, and it leaves us with negative 11y equals negative 5x, negative 14, or minus 14. We put the mx part first. We still do not have y equals mx plus b, though. We got something multiplying by y. So in order to get y equals mx plus b, we'll cancel out this. Since we're finished with addition and subtraction, we'll cancel out the multiplication of negative 11 by dividing by negative 11. If you do it to the left side, you have to divide by everything on the right side. A negative divided by a negative, 5 divided by 11, is going to be a positive 5 over 11x. Again, a negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive 14 over 11. Now it says mx plus b. Now we can see what its slope value is. It's 5 over 11. And when we compare the slope value to the original slope value of equation number 1, we can see they are the same. So the question asks, are the lines parallel? The answer is yes. And then where it tells you to explain yourself, they have the same slopes. Number 2 says y equals 2x minus 10. Again, you can easily see the slope of the first line. Are they parallel? Yes. Its slope has, I'm sorry, we don't know. Its slope is 2. If the other one's slope is 2, then they're parallel. If it's not, then they won't be. So we have to take that equation, 10x minus 2y equals 20, and we have to move it. We'll go a little quicker with this one. Move 10x over by subtracting it. Negative 2y equals negative 10x, positive 20. Divide by 2, a negative 2 to cancel out. Multiply by it. Do it by this one and this one as well. A negative divided by negative is a positive. 10 divided by 2 is 5x. A positive divided by negative is a negative. 20 divided by 2 is 10. We can see what the slope is of this equation now. It's 5. That is not the same slope as 2 from the first equation. So are the lines parallel? No. Explain yourself why. They have different slopes. Number 3 says write an equation 3 and 4 parallel to the given line that passes through the given point. Again, these lines are in slope-intercept form. They say y equals mx plus b. So we can easily and clearly see what the slope is. The first slope is negative 5. It says write a line that is parallel to it. So we're writing a line that has the same slope, negative 5. When we take that other point and bring it down, negative 6, 3, that's what we're going to use to find our y-intercept. This is our x value. This is our y value. Y equals mx plus b is what we're going to use to find what we don't know. Our y value is going to plug in place of y, 3. Our m value we got from the other equation. It is the same since it's parallel, -5. Our x value is -6. We'll plug it in right next to the -5. It's equal to that, and we don't have a b value, so it's plus b. That's the one we're going to look for. When you multiply -5 and -6, a negative times a negative, you get a positive 30 plus b is equal to 3. And then in order to get b by itself, we're going to cancel out this positive 30 or plus 30 by subtracting it. If you do it to the right, do it to the left. 30 minus 3 minus 30 is negative 27 is equal to b. There is your b value. So when we write our equation, now that we have a y intercept or a b value and an m or a slope value, y equals mx plus b, we'll plug our values in. M's value is going to plug in right there, -5x, and our b value is going to plug in right there, -27. Y equals -5x minus 27. We're going to do the same thing with number 4. You can clearly see what its slope value is. Its slope is 2/3. Again, they're parallel lines, so we're going to use that parallel line. We're going to use the x value 9 and the y value -10. Y equals mx plus b again is the equation that we're going to use to find what b is. Y's value right now is -10. Equals m's value we just found a minute ago because it's parallel. Just a minute ago because it's parallel is 2/3 since they're the same slope. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. 2/3. And x's value from this point again goes right next to it. Since it's right next to it, you're multiplying by it, is 9. And then plus b is the unknown amount. It's equal to that. So we have -10 equals 2/3 times 9 plus b. Multiply these two by each other. 9 times 2 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3. 18 divided by 3 will simplify further to say 6. So when we bring the rest down, plus b equals -10. In order to get b by itself, subtract 6 on both sides. -10 minus 6 is -16 is equal to b. There's your b value. So when you write your equation for number 4, y equals mx plus b. Again, m's value is coming right down and plugging in for m, 2/3. B's value we just found is plugging in right there for b, -16. Y equals mx plus b, 2/3 x minus 16. Number 5 says tell whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither one. Remember, parallel will have the same slopes. Perpendicular slopes will be the negative reciprocal. Remember, that's just a fancy phrase that means change it and flip it. Neither one is if either one of those situations doesn't happen, there'll be neither one. Both of these equations are not in slope-intercept form. The first one, 7x minus 4y equals 4, we have to make it say y equals mx plus b, where we can see what the slope is. Remember, when you're talking about lines that are either parallel, perpendicular, or neither, that's all you're interested in is the slope itself. So when you move 7x over to the other side, you subtract it. It leaves you with -4y equals, it becomes -7x on the other side, and there's still +4 there. When you divide by -4 on both sides, it leaves you with y equals a negative divided by negative is a +7 over 4x, and then a positive divided by negative is a -1. So your slope for the first equation is 7 over 4. Let's look and see what the slope is for the second equation to where we can compare the two. X minus 4y equals 3. Move positive x over by subtracting it on both sides. It leaves you with -4y equals now -x plus 3. Divide by negative 4 on both sides. Do it here and here as well. This is negative 1 times x. A negative divided by negative is going to be a positive 1/4 x minus 3 over 4. Again, this is the slope, the m value. Let's compare the two slopes. Are they the same? No. 7 over 4 is not the same as 1 over 4. Are they negative reciprocals of each other? Do they flip and then change signs? No. They don't flip or change signs. So the answer to number 5 is neither one. Number 6, we're doing the same thing. You can see what the slope of the first one is. So you don't have to change both equations. It's 3/8. If they're parallel, the other one will have the same slope. Let's take a look at the other one. It says 32x plus 12y equals 12. Subtract 32x on both sides to move it over. When you subtract 32x on the other side, it leaves you with 12y equals negative 32x positive 12. And then when you divide by 12 on both sides, you got to make sure to divide everything. Y equals negative 32 over 12. 12 doesn't go into both of them, but the number 4 does. 4 goes into 32. It's a negative divided by positive, so it's going to be a negative. 4 goes into 32 8 times, and 4 goes into 12 3 times. So you have negative 8 over 3x. 12 divided by 12 is plus 1. So you can see what the slope is now. It's negative 8 over 3. Again, compare the two slopes. 3 over 8 and negative 8 over 3. Are they the same slope? No. One's positive and one's negative. Right away, they're not the same. They're not parallel. Are they perpendicular? Remember, perpendicular is the negative, which means it changes. It was positive on the first equation. It becomes negative, so that's good. Are they reciprocals of each other? Remember, all that means is a fancy word that means flip it. Does 3 over 8 flip and become 8 over 3? Yes, that's good. Therefore, the lines are perpendicular to each other. Number 7 says to write an equation of a line perpendicular to this one, you have to change the equation x minus 5y equals negative 21. Move x over by subtracting it. It leaves you with negative 5y equals negative x minus 21. Divide by negative 5 on both sides. Y equals negative divided by negative is a positive 1/5 x. Plus a negative divided by negative again is a positive 21 over 5. The slope of the line is 1/5, but it says it's perpendicular. So take that slope 1/5 and change it and flip it. When you flip it, it becomes 5 over 1. When you change the positive, it becomes negative. So the slope of the new line is negative 5. Then treat it like the ones we've been using. This negative 4, negative 1 is the point it passes through. So that is your x and your y respectively. Y equals mx plus b. Plug your values in. Y's value is negative 1. M's value is negative 5. X's value is negative 4 when you plug it in. When you simplify it, this times this, a negative times a negative is a positive 20, plus b equals negative 1. When you subtract 20 on both sides, b equals negative 21. You have m and you have b. You can write your equation. Y equals mx plus b. M is negative 5. B is negative 21. Negative 5x minus 21.